As we head into the WNBA All-Star break, Caitlin Clark is the overwhelming betting favorite for Rookie of the Year. She's a WNBA assist leader. She has her team in the playoff race, a team that has missed the playoffs for the past 8 years. And she just broke the WNBA single game assist record, putting on a masterclass against the Dallas Wings with 19 assists. Her WNBA adjustment has been incredible, except for one thing, her three-point shooting. Everyone knows Caitlin Clark is a shooter. Her Nike campaign is literally based around her half-court shots. She's always been a great passer, but no one was watching her at Iowa for her passing. She became a superstar, the face of the sport, because of her incredible long-range shooting skill. And the real question before the start of the season was, how will Caitlin transition? And what people meant by that is, will she be the same dominant, unstoppable scorer she was in college that could and would pull up from anywhere and make herself unguardable? So far, the answer is no. Caitlin is averaging 17 points per game in the WNBA, shooting 32.7% from three. Compare that to 31 points per game and 37.8% from three over her last season at Iowa, which is just insane. And if you watch the games in the WNBA, you'll notice those points that she does score aren't coming from three. On average, she's only making 2.7 three-point shots a game. That's almost the exact same as her teammate Kelsey Mitchell. And that's no shade at all. Kelsey's a great player, but Kelsey has been in the league long before Caitlin, and no one was filling up arenas to see her. Not only are Caitlin and Kelsey making the same number of three-pointers, Caitlin's actually taking more. Kelsey's three-point percentage is basically what Caitlin's was back at Iowa. This is not the three-point shooting revolution that her fans were promising she would bring to the WNBA. Earlier in the season, an Indiana journalist asked Caitlin about how it feels to see her shot go in during a slump. And Caitlin kind of pushed back and said she doesn't ever lose confidence in her shot, no matter how many she misses, which is great to hear. You know the saying, shoot or shoot. And she even mentioned in yesterday's press conference that she should look to shoot more and pass less. But at the same time, she declined the opportunity to compete in the All-Star Game three-point contest. So it's interesting. In my video previewing her rookie season, I mentioned that the WNBA doesn't lack three-point shooting talent, but that the game is just different and it's played more through the posts. So the frequency of long-range shots just won't be as high as Caitlin was used to in college. And she does take less than she did in college, but that doesn't explain why she's so much worse at them. It could be the physicality, speed, height, and defensive IQ. Lots of people were branded as haters for pointing out how those things could diminish her shooting at the next level, but it's just a fact that it's harder to shoot with all-world defenders who are much taller and quicker and stronger than college kids, and much more advanced in their defenses and rotations. Also, it could just be that her legs are tired. She's been playing basketball almost nonstop since September. This All-Star break is the first long break that she's had. That's a few theories, right? But it's fascinating to me that I haven't seen anyone else talking about how underwhelming her shooting has been or why that could be. The girl certainly gets enough criticism, so I'm not wishing that people pile on her. But I would like to see sports outlets actually talk about what's going on the court, because they spend so much time farming clicks and views debating she's going to be the GOAT, instantly the best player, no adjustment, versus she's overrated, she's going to get humbled, and it's going to be a bust. Yet now, the season has started, we actually see her play. No one's talking about how much her game has changed. And honestly, that's the most impressive thing she's done so far to me. The passing is great. I mentioned, comparing her to Sue Bird in my original video. I see that passing ceiling from her, and she's hitting it, honestly, sooner than I thought she would. But to me, the most impressive thing is within 2 months, she's completely changed her game. She has responded to a less effective scoring output and converted herself into a pass-first, paint-driving point guard. She also went from a player who only defended, lanes. Maybe she'd get into a passing lane and steal a ball, but she wasn't that, hawkish on-ball defender. Now she's defending on ball. She's blocking shots. She's an all-around player who's still decent from three. And so she has just as dramatic an impact on her team now as she did on the Hawkeyes. It's just in a completely different way. And that is nuts. That is amazing to see from a player during their first season. Usually players have to experience failures in the playoffs or embarrassing seasons to adjust their games. Almost any superstar or young player goes through that phase. If you watch sports, you know what I mean. They'll be a great player, they have a lot of potential, but, there's this one area of their game that they need to work on, or there's this one thing they're doing, they're just not adjusting to being a team player, or they don't know how to make their skill set work with their team. She has just grasped that so amazingly quick. And so she's just an amazing, remarkable player, and it's going to be so much fun to watch her game progress, and I do think she'll eventually get her shot back. And once that happens, whoo,